Okay, hello, it is now the end of the first week, and this is the first proper devlog for Policy, the game I'm creating this year. Just working on it. I've got sort of a okay amount done this week. I could have, I got some stuff done. I've got places to get to do, I've got in the position to do more, basically. A lot of work has been set up this week. Writing and some sort of design stuff. The first thing that I wanted to do is loaded up Blender. I haven't used Blender in a while. I've been using Maya at university, and I decided I'm probably going to switch back to that because hopefully I'll get this project done before I run out of my free access to that through university. But I'm probably going to go back to that to use for the models. The main thing I wanted to get done first here actually is to decide the sort of size of the room I'm working with, because once I've modelled it, it kind of becomes annoying to change. So I wanted to make sure I've got the sort of size I was looking for. So I kind of worked that out a bit in Blender, and then realised probably a good idea to just create it properly in Unity, and then that way I can slap a basic movement script on a character and just have a walk around and see if it kind of feels right. So I did that. I created that out, followed a Brackeys tutorial like usual, and copied over some of the code I've done from another project that I had been working on. I didn't actually have to do any real proper coding. It was all just Frankenstein from stuff I've done before, which is helpful. Obviously I could have just written out, but there's no point when I can just copy paste it from somewhere I've already done it. So yeah, that was really the simplest part. I built up this area, built up the map in Unity, slapped on that movement script, had a walk around. I'm fairly happy with it. I might make some tweaks. I want to try and make some placeholder assets for these things, instead of being like the main proper detailed things, which I'll do later on. But that way I can work with them until the end, and then I'll make, good looking, proper designed and textured assets. So that's probably what I'm going to start work on next week. However, the final thing I did was add just a little bit of code to the player where a raycast gets shot out and can detect what it's hitting just for item interactions. So for example, it knows when it's hitting the chair, when it's hitting the bed, when it's hitting the walls, when it's hitting the door, all these various things, and then I added an additional check for how close you are to that item to decide whether or not you can interact with it, basically. And yeah, this all works perfectly well. There's a couple of issues with the detection, which I am going to work on at some point. It really basically depends on when it becomes an issue, and when that point is, once I've actually finished programming a feature, I will then obviously test it, and any of those tests that fail, I will then fix. But yeah, obviously not too much progress for the first week. I am back to university next week, although I'll only have I think 4 or 5 days from now, so we'll see sort of when that happens. So probably won't be too much progress for the next one, but we'll see. Yeah, that's everything that we got done this week, and I have nothing else to say. Looking forward to keeping going.